Welcome back to Throttle Tribe. Today, we're diving into the 10 most sold motorcycles in the USA, the bikes that have captured the hearts of riders nationwide. From legendary cruisers to versatile adventure machines, these are the top picks that rule the American roads. At number 1, the Yamaha Tenere 700, the no-nonsense adventure bike that's always sold out. While BMW and KTM battle for big-budget adventure supremacy, Yamaha quietly dropped a mid-size bombshell that's been flying off dealership floors since its introduction. The Tenere 700 takes a refreshingly different approach to adventure riding simplicity. Powered by a 689cc parallel twin engine making 72 horsepower and weighing just 452 pounds wet, it delivers reliable performance without the electronic excess. There's no electronic suspension, no cornering ABS, no TFT display, just the essentials, done right. And at just $10,299, it costs nearly half of what flagship European options command. So why is it consistently sold out at dealers across the country? Because it aligns with how most adventure riders actually use their bikes, about 80% road riding with occasional off-road excursions. Its relatively lightweight makes it manageable off-road without needing Dakar-level skills. The lack of complex electronics means there's less to break down in remote areas. Plus, its reasonable seat height makes it more accessible to a wider range of riders. The Tenere's runaway success is a direct rebuke to the more is more philosophy that has dominated the adventure bike segment for years. It proves that riders are willing to trade electronic gimmicks for true fundamental capability at a fair price. Yamaha struck gold by building the adventure bike that people actually need, not the one marketing departments think they want. In the end, the adventure segment isn't about who can cram in the most technology. It's about who can deliver the most capability per dollar. Yamaha figured that out first. And as for sport bikes supposedly being dead, then why is this track-focused missile still flying off dealership floors? At number 2, we have the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-10R, the superbike that's still standing tall in a dying segment. While superbike sales have been steadily declining for years with many riders shifting toward more practical options, the ZX-10R continues to move units even as its competitors struggle. What's the secret? Racing success, and not just on paper. Kawasaki's dominance in the World Superbike Championship, particularly under Jonathan Rea, has directly translated into consumer trust and loyalty. With over 100 victories and 6 consecutive titles, that kind of pedigree isn't just impressive, it's persuasive. This 998cc missile produces 203 horsepower in a 456-pound package, numbers that make little sense for public roads, yet they ignite the imagination of enthusiasts. While other superbikes collect dust in showrooms, the ZX-10R keeps selling. One major factor is its pricing. Starting at just $16,319, it undercuts European rivals by thousands of dollars. But beyond price, Kawasaki has built a tribe, a dedicated following that believes in the brand's superiority, not because of marketing alone, but because of proven performance on the track. Another advantage? Reliability. In a category known for high-strung engines and costly maintenance, the ZX-10R has earned a reputation for durability that many European machines simply can't match. When buyers are investing in a purpose-built performance machine, the fear of expensive repairs becomes a major deterrent, one that Kawasaki has managed to all but eliminate. In a market where segment sales have dropped by double digits, maintaining consistent sales is a huge victory. Racing success still sells motorcycles, but only when buyers truly believe that the tech and performance from the racetrack makes it into the production models. Kawasaki didn't just create a legend through marketing, it maintained that legend with authentic capability and unmatched value. At number 3, the Honda Africa Twin, the off-road ready ADV that actually earns the badge. Most adventure bikes are road-biased behemoths that only occasionally venture onto gravel, but the Africa Twin reversed that formula and found sales success by prioritizing off-road capability from the ground up. This purpose-built machine features a 1084cc parallel twin engine producing 101 horsepower paired with a chassis designed for genuine dirt performance. At 529 pounds wet, it's not exactly a featherweight, but its balance, ground clearance, and long suspension travel make it significantly more capable when the pavement ends, far more than most of its competitors. What drives its sales success in America? Authenticity. While many manufacturers slapped off-road modes onto what are essentially touring bikes with adventure costumes, Honda built a real dirt bike that just so happens to tour comfortably. Its relatively narrow frame, reasonable seat height options, and focus on fundamental mechanical capability, rather than relying on electronic wizardry, attract riders who genuinely plan to take their ADV bikes off the beaten path. The optional DCT, or dual-clutch transmission, is a feature unique in the adventure segment and draws in yet another group of riders. those who want technical off-road capability without the complexity of clutch control in challenging terrain. This innovation removes a common barrier for newer riders or those who ride in more unpredictable environments. Honda's revival of the legendary Africa Twin name wasn't just nostalgia marketing, it was a commitment to purpose. And that message has resonated loud and clear with buyers who are tired of adventure bike pretenders. The ADV segment has essentially split into two camps: high-tech touring bikes with knobby tires, and genuine dual-purpose machines built for the real thing. The Africa Twin planted its flag firmly in the latter. A company famous for dirt bikes managed to create an urban sales phenomenon that's reshaping how American riders think about displacement, capability, and what it really means to own an adventure bike. Before we dive into that, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more unbeatable motorcycle deals. At number 4, the KTM 390 Duke, the small displacement city bike that redefined urban motorcycling fun. While the American market has traditionally equated engine size with desirability, KTM flipped the script by delivering a compact machine that sells on character rather than just cubic centimeters. This lightweight naked bike is powered by a 373cc single-cylinder engine, producing 44 horsepower, all wrapped in a package that weighs just 328 pounds. On paper, those numbers may not seem groundbreaking, but the magic lies in the power-to-weight ratio, which makes urban riding an absolute blast. Zipping through traffic, corner carving, and city commuting suddenly become thrilling experiences. So what's the secret behind the 390 Duke flying off dealership floors? Part of it is the accessible starting price of $5,499, but more importantly, KTM managed to inject the same aggressive DNA from its bigger, more powerful siblings into this entry-level machine. We're talking sharp styling, premium WP suspension, Bybri brakes, which is a Brembo subsidiary, and a snappy throttle response that delivers a genuinely premium feel, not just a beginner bike compromise. The 390 Duke revealed a market truth that many manufacturers had ignored. Not everyone wants a big, heavy motorcycle. Many riders, especially urban dwellers, value agility, fuel efficiency, low maintenance costs, and ease of use far more than raw horsepower they'll rarely or never legally use. The compact Duke helped create an entirely new segment: riders who chose small displacement bikes out of preference, not just budget constraints, and the market took notice. After the 390 Duke's breakout success, virtually every major manufacturer scrambled to release their own premium small displacement options, from Yamaha's MT-03 to Honda's CB300R. This is the bike that proved America was finally ready to admit that bigger isn't always better, especially in the city. And in an age dominated by futuristic concepts, the 390 Duke's modern yet stripped-down look also showed that minimalism with performance still sells in the billions. If you think this bike is impressive, just wait until you see what's coming up next. At number 5, the Honda Goldwing, the two-wheeled luxury suite that serious tourers swear by. Forget superbikes and adventure machines. If you want to see what consistent sales success looks like, look no further than Honda's rolling luxury suite, the Goldwing. This 1,833cc flat-six behemoth weighs an eye-watering 800-plus pounds fully dressed, and commands a starting price of around $25,700, which quickly climbs past $33,000 with options like the DCT automatic transmission, premium audio, and airbag system. Yet, it maintains steady sales year after year, dominating the touring segment it practically invented. The numbers are impressive: 125 horsepower, 125 pound-feet of torque, a 7-speed DCT automatic transmission option, and more electronic aids than most luxury cars, including features like Apple CarPlay, electronic suspension adjustment, and heated grips and seats. But what really sells the Goldwing is the experience it delivers. All-day comfort that rivals your living room sofa, weather protection that makes rain irrelevant, and the ability to cover 300-plus miles between fuel stops with its generous 5.5-gallon tank. Who's buying them? Primarily mature riders, average age 50-plus, who value comfort and capability over spec sheet bragging rights. These are riders who've outgrown the need to prove anything to anyone. They just want to enjoy the journey with minimal discomfort. The Goldwing exposes a truth that manufacturers know but marketing often ignores. As riders age, priorities shift from raw performance to refined comfort. And in America's aging rider demographic, that means steady sales for bikes that deliver luxury first. The motorcycle market isn't just about youth and speed. It's increasingly about comfort, reliability, and long-distance capability. No bike proves this better than the Wing. Flagship adventure bikes may add electronics like fighter jets, but meanwhile, this machine, evolved but still rooted in a platform dating back decades, continues to sell out nationwide. Loving this bike? Hold on tight, the next one will blow you away. At number 6, the Indian Scout, the American cruiser that's, well, stealing Harley's lunch money. Don't let Harley's market dominance fool you. The Indian Scout lineup has become a genuine sales phenomenon by beating the motor company at its own game. This modern cruiser packs a liquid-cooled 1133cc V-twin, making 100 horsepower in a package weighing just 561 pounds, giving it a power-to-weight ratio that, honestly, embarrasses the competition. Yet it starts at just $13,249, undercutting comparable Harleys while offering, superior performance. So, what's driving its sales success? Partly, it's the combination of classic looks with modern engineering. The Scout offers features like liquid cooling, overhead cams, and a counterbalanced engine, all while maintaining the clean lines that cruiser buyers really demand. It's a bike that doesn't force you to choose between style and substance. But there's another factor. Indian represents an alternative. As the American motorcycle market matures, riders who want domestic iron without joining the Harley crowd find a home with Indian. The Scout offers tribal belonging without feeling like you're riding the same bike as your dad and uncle. While Indian doesn't publish exact sales figures, dealer reports suggest that Scout models often outsell comparable Harley Sportsters in direct comparisons, something that would have been unthinkable just a decade ago. The cruiser market was a monopoly for decades, now it's a genuine horse race, and American riders are the winners. Middle-aged accountants and lawyers fight for the chance to spend luxury car money on this two-wheeled living room. If you think this bike is impressive, just wait until you see what's coming up next. At number 7, the Ducati Multistrada 5.4, the Italian superbike disguised as practical transport. Not all bestsellers are mass-market models. In the premium segment, Ducati's Multistrada V4 has quietly become the brand's most successful model by cleverly blending superbike DNA with adventure touring practicality. This technological tour de force features a 170-horsepower V4 engine derived from MotoGP racing, packed into a chassis designed for comfort, capability, and cutting-edge tech. With radar-assisted adaptive cruise control, cornering ABS, semi-active electronic suspension, and a suite of rider aids extensive enough to warrant its own manual, the Multistrada V4 is no ordinary touring bike. Starting at $20,995, it's firmly in the premium price bracket. But that hasn't stopped it from becoming Ducati's top seller. What's the secret to its success in such a specialized market? Versatility wrapped in exclusivity. The Multistrada 5.4 delivers near sport bike performance with adventure bike comfort and long-distance touring credentials, all while wearing the iconic Ducati badge. It's the motorcycle world's answer to the high-performance luxury SUV, practical enough to justify, exotic enough to desire. But there's another game-changing factor: maintenance. By extending major service intervals to 36,000 miles, Ducati tackled one of the brand's biggest ownership concerns: high upkeep costs. That move alone opened the door for buyers who had long admired Ducatis but hesitated due to maintenance demands. Now, they had a practical reason to own one. In the premium motorcycle segment, sales success isn't about volume, it's about growth, margin, and market share. The Multistrada V4 delivers all three for Ducati. It proves that in the world of high-end motorcycles, the best sellers aren't always the cheapest. They're the ones that make exclusivity feel justifiable. And while America's motorcycle ego may refuse to admit these practical exotics are selling by the thousands, the numbers don't lie. Loving this bike? Hold on tight, the next one will blow you away. At number 8, the Kawasaki Versys 650, the underdog all-rounder quietly winning on versatility. While adventure bike headlines obsess over $20,000 behemoths clad in aluminum cases and sporting snorkels, the humble Versys 650 has quietly become one of America's sales success stories by offering 90% of the capability at roughly 50% of the price. This middleweight do-it-all machine packs a 649cc parallel twin engine producing 67 horsepower in a package weighing 483 pounds wet. Not jaw-dropping numbers on paper, but the magic is in the chassis long travel suspension, comfortable ergonomics, and a frame that handles everything from commuting to canyon carving to light touring with equal composure. So what drives its consistent sales success? Value, for starters. Priced at $9,199 for the standard model, it undercuts comparable bikes by thousands of dollars. But more importantly, it's honest. It doesn't pretend to be a hardcore dirt bike with its 17-inch wheels. It doesn't try to dazzle with unnecessary electronics or endless ride modes. It simply works brilliantly as everyday transportation that can still deliver thrills when asked. The average Versys owner isn't posting on Instagram or flexing on forums. They're too busy actually riding, racking up 15,000 plus miles annually, while bikes 3 times the price sit neglected in garages, waiting for special occasions. In a world dominated by hyper-specialized motorcycles, the Versys proves that versatility sells, even if it doesn't generate clicks or social media fame. The bikes you see most often in glossy reviews aren't always the ones most people are buying. This Kawasaki exposes that disconnect perfectly. A once-forgotten brand reinvented itself and is now stealing customers directly from Harley, making Milwaukee executives sweat. If you're into this bike, just wait. The next one's even more exciting. At number 9, the Honda PCX 150 and ADV 150, the scooters America pretends to hate but secretly loves. Despite the long-standing American resistance to viewing scooters as real motorcycles, Honda's PCX 150 and ADV 150 have quietly become consistent sales performers. Why? Because they deliver exactly what urban commuters need: practical, no-nonsense transportation. These 149cc single-cylinder step-throughs produce a modest 14.5 horsepower and weigh around 290 pounds. On paper, that's not impressive. But in the real world, they offer features that make everyday riding more convenient than most full-size motorcycles. You get under-seat storage big enough for a full-face helmet, over 100 miles per gallon fuel efficiency, automatic CVT transmission, and weather protection. Things traditional motorcycles can't match. What's behind their surprising sales success in a country that traditionally scoffs at scooters? Practicality that transcends image. Starting at just $3,999, they're an affordable entry point into two-wheeled transportation. Their compact dimensions make filtering through congested traffic a breeze, and the twist-and-go CVT eliminates the intimidation factor that discourages many would-be riders. And the buyer demographic? It's telling. PCX and ADV 150 buyers often aren't your stereotypical motorcycle enthusiasts. They're practical urbanites, commuters who value function over form. They've realized that sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic in a car doesn't make sense when a scooter can glide through it effortlessly. While America may publicly scoff at scooters, sales figures tell a different story, one of quiet acceptance. Because at the end of the day, practical transportation doesn't have to be wrapped in machismo. The most honest motorcycle purchase isn't the one you show off to your friends, it's the one that actually improves your daily life. Scooters are selling because they work. And now, our final bestseller divides Harley loyalists into warring tribes, and surprisingly, it's the less flashy faction that's coming out on top. At number 10, the Harley-Davidson Street Glide. America's real dream bike. Whether you admit it or not, forget what the YouTube influencers tell you about sport bikes. The Street Glide remains America's true aspirational motorcycle, selling in numbers that would make most manufacturers weep with envy. This 800-plus pound bagger isn't trying to set lap records or win specification sheet competitions. Its Milwaukee 811-4 V-twin makes only 100 horsepower, less than a 600cc sport bike, yet commands a $22,000-plus price tag that people gladly pay. And they're buying these things by the tens of thousands. Why? Because the Street Glide delivers exactly what most adult riders actually want: presence, comfort, and the ability to eat miles without feeling beaten up. Its frame-mounted fairing with infotainment system, cruise control, and stretch saddlebags create a rolling living room that makes 500-mile days feel reasonable rather than masochistic. The tech is there too. Modern Street Glides offer touchscreen infotainment, Bluetooth connectivity, and rider aids that rival luxury cars. No, it won't carve canyons like a sport bike, but it will still be running flawlessly when those race-inspired machines are on their third engine rebuild. The demographics don't lie. The average motorcycle buyer is in their 40s with disposable income and a body that no longer tolerates sport bike ergonomics. The Street Glide speaks directly to them. Subscribe now because the bikes we're about to reveal next are the ones everybody's buying but nobody's talking about. That old man bike you mock it outsells your dream sport bike 10 to 1, and its owner is actually riding, not posing for Instagram. Your Instagram feed shows $20,000 adventure machines. Meanwhile, this humble dirt bike with a license plate is silently outselling them all. These are the what motorcycles sold the most in the USA? Did we miss a bike that deserves to be on this list? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more motorcycle content, and as always, ride safe. See you in the next one.